So right, starting to come back together now. We've got the clutch side on. We've polished that and lined them out. The barrel's been ceramic coated in heat dispersant grade to match the rocker cover, which we're putting on, which is our new head. So basically, when you get one of our cylinder heads and you're down to this stage, what I've actually done with this one, we checked the bore, it was on standard bore, which was good, piston was good. And I'll do you a couple of drop down photographs now, because what I've done, I've vapor blasted the piston so you can see it being cleaned up on the top, decoated it, and then we've put a new set of rings on, genuine Honda rings, so I'll show you that now. So it's straightforward enough. Once you fit in your cylinder head, what we're saying in the instructions is that we suggest you install a new head gasket, obviously, and the O-rings, O-ring I should say. So what it says is one O-ring above the clutch side dowel. So your dowel gets put back in, your O-ring put back in, and then these are the instructions what come with it from us. And then you fit in the new head onto it, and you just put the other dowel, so it's two dowels on the timing chain front end. And that's it, drop your gasket down. What we do after that is we're telling you, obviously the camshaft will come in the cylinder head and everything else, so you're lowering it down. All the torque settings are on these instructions for you, simple to do, and it's just the tappet clearance from cold. We give you the intake and the exhaust. So we'll get this bolted down now, straight onto it, and then we'll assemble it up. And as I say, that's basically in the instructions what you're doing. As I say, to save a bit of money here, because everything was good. New set of Honda rings onto the piston, and we're on standard bore still, so we'll show you a bit more. Right, so you've seen some pictures of me getting it back together, and then what I've done basically, we set the time in and put the engine into the frame now. I've actually done a run up on it with a dummy tank on. You can get a close up now. So I've just started it up for the first time. Again, all the bits we've done, remember all the rest of it, the customer's going to do all this. He's come from the other side to the country to bring this bike in here, but that's what we've done. So I've run it up, and we'll go back a little bit, because when this first come in, before I took it down, it wasn't smoking on the cylinder head or anything. He just wanted the performance head, big valves and on bearings, fitting. So that's what you've got. That's why if you've just started watching this particular video, the colour I do the heat dispersant ceramic coating in, I've done the barrel in the same. I'm going to go through a little bit, because as you know, when it first come in, it was running a carburettor, two carburettors he brought in. One was like an original Honda one, and one was one of these French-Spanish carbs. I think they're about 175 quid, and I did say we've never touched one. I've had it down and I put it in the ultrasonic, and I've just brought this one out. His original one, I've just brought this out, still hot that, the ultrasonic, solvent cleaned it first. So I put this back on, bike's not been anywhere yet, I've still got the sump guard off, because what I'm going to do is, I've just put some obviously fresh oil in it, so then I'm going to drop this oil now. I've run it for about 5 or 6 minutes. It was running different to when I took it to bits, because I put one of our bigger heads on it. So I did say at part of the video, I don't know where I'll be with this carbon. Maybe we won't be even one of these, it's the original one, because if I haven't serviced it up. But I think what I'm going to do is put it back together. I'm going to change the oil, take it outside, and probably run it through and let you see it running through. I'll set the carburettor upon this, and we'll assess it and see where we're at. I think it's going to be at the level that the customer will be able to pick this bike up. It's always difficult when you're doing something like this, and if you've noticed along this line, and you'll see why, I always say to you, don't buy a load of bits in like I could have bought an ignition CDI box. You're sticking an head on it. We've got unknown carburetors to me. It's impossible to say some of these carburetors. I mean, they're so clever now that unless you're inside, so the only way you can really see it is put it on and then hear it and have a play with it and see what it's actually doing. As I say, I've had to adjust it. Now, when this bike first come in, it had a typical example, like it was just ramping up still, it wouldn't come down. And there was lots of things to go at because they had the air filter box, which I've changed, which I'll show you in a minute, back to one of my ones. It's only that this one's one of the good originals, but it'd been molested a bit, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We had O-rings different, and things were loose, and things were gaps, so we had air gaps and everything. So we know now that it's on a standard bore, and I've put a fresh set of Honda rings in it. I'll show you all this in a minute. Had gaskets on it, and obviously the valves are all brand new, and seals and everything, Vitten seals in it, or Honda seals. Timed up, and then I've just plunged it down and tightened the cam chain up on it. So the next thing I'll do is, I may even, if it's not raining out there or windy, I don't want to get my hair messed up today, I'll probably take it out like this, and I'll just take it around my child section at the back. Now remember, this is old school child section, so just round a few trees. I'm looking for just if it responds and how it shuts off and does things, and I might have to do a few tweaks with it, because these early carburetors on all these machines are very sensitive. I mean, to be fair with you, when you look at like a carburetor and you look at my bank of CBXs I do, you were seeing these, they're off my own bike, I've just built them back up. I sometimes think I'd rather do them. I know that sounds crazy, but it's so easy just to go to like a factory setting and not really get anywhere unless you know them a bit. Now, the other thing as well, I always think these carbs are also different, that when you start these up from a cold start, so tomorrow morning I'll set it up on this carb, I'll be looking probably half a choke, full choke, and maybe the next day, just to see if she starts. Usually I like to, some of them will start just off, just what I call about 22, you know, just a bit up, but we'll see, but we're nowhere near that yet. I've put some fuel in it, I've run it through, I'm going to change the oil in a minute, and then get it outside, and what I want to do is I want to get it run up, get it warm, obviously before we adjust the carburetor properly, and also give it a few cycles with its new piston rings in, just helps them a little bit. Fresh oil in again, outside, and I want it ticking over for about 5 minutes at least, just to see if she starts to do anything. Now, this was staying up on the ramp, it wasn't coming down, so it was too lean. And the best way for me to describe this for you on these little carburetors on the air screw on the other side is, what you find is if you flip the throttle back full, and if it comes back down and it hovers a bit, then drops down to a baseline, which you might see, you start off with your baseline at air screw out at 1.5, anything, so it's just kind of ticking over. If it's slow to come down, then it's running too weak. So if it's the other way, where you ramp it up, it comes down and it drops below and then picks up again, it's too rich because it's having to burn off the excess fuel. So if you've got one of these and you're always twiddling and doing things, just slow down a bit, because there's a bit of a pattern with it. You've just got to get it, feel what it's doing, be one or the other. So usually, and of course you've got to make sure, and the amount of times, you know, clean your carbs, no matter if you're on a little thing like this, what I call my peanut engine, so you're on a 6, clean, you know, solvent, good quality solvent cleaner. If you haven't got an ultrasonic, I mean I do both, I blast them with a bit of solvent and then put in the ultrasonic machine and go through everything and airline them out. A lot of really delicate airways in it, so that's the thing with this. So as I say, I started it up now, still warm, I let it run a bit, and it had altered straight away on the tick over. It will have done with this other head we've put on. So that's the next move we'll make. and I'll just show you what I'm going over to on here, what we've taken off and done things with. Now, the reason I've swapped this box is because it had a tube coming in and it's been cut out here, which you'll still sell this box because I could have done this. I'll have had bits of this, but I had one and it was going to go up for sale to a customer, and this guy has bought off me because it's gone straight on. And the other thing we've got is this wasn't even a good ollie. It was just, you worry is you're just letting more water in, and obviously it hasn't got the little flaps on the top and the ingress of water coming in, and it had holes drilled in it. So we changed that because we had one. I've decided to go for this French type carburettor, which I can't really say if it is. It was bought from Spain, France. I think they're about 175 quid. At the moment it seems okay, if I can get it to come down fast enough. But the main thing is then, so back to the machine itself. Now when the machine came in, it had the valve lifter, which is on these heads, the original heads. It was put to the handlebars rather than its mechanism on behind the clutch. Didn't think out of it at the time, and then when I've stripped the actual clutch side off, the retaining arm and the spring and the cog wasn't there. So all the time the customers had it doing this to give it a bit, you know, kick over, it's not been doing anything. It just stopped there. Someone will have taken it out at some point and it's been missing, or they couldn't probably get that part. Some of them are a bit hard to get, so they've given in on it. But the great thing is the gent who has this is into big British irons and is used to getting on and compressors, so it's not like driving off a two-stroke and you're ragging them, because it's something I always check on these, because as I said to you in the past, the kickstart mechanism and the spring is internal of the engine. It isn't a luxury when you take the clutch off and it's just sat there and you think you're going to get away with 900cc of oil, a gasket and a little spring. Don't work like that. It's all in bits. So back to this, I did say to the gent he has got another exhaust. I put the original one back on. The reason is at the moment, what it come with, I'm going to let it settle down, and his exhaust, which is a modified one, the cut down version, I've just cut the back end off it, and I've bought some steel. I'm going to put some billets in it, and then I'm going to ceramic coat it, but it's not much difference to the ones I'm trying to have made at the moment. They are in drawing, apart from I've got a little bit in the firebox to alter. But so yeah, so we haven't done, I've stuck to my guns, we're just trying to get it. We know now that we've got a good bore, we've got good valves and all the rest of it, and seals, so we've no worry there. It's just this coming this way now. We've got an air filter box on it, which I like. And back to the cylinder head. So it's now got a cylinder head. Now you've got to remember, when this came in, it wasn't smoking. So this cylinder head with the compressor on it, valve lifter, it could sell that on an internet site, and that was a good head. I guess if someone got it, you'd probably just put some Vitten seals in it. You'd maybe just put some new valves in it, just because you've got it out, because you're having to take the engine out of the bloody things to get it off. So it'd be pointless for the sake of a few quid. But you could actually, this was running perfect, so he'll get this back. The only thing I did on this carburettor, on there, I put a new gasket on the bottom of it. It expanded. I haven't put a float, but I've got a float ball here, which I'll give to the customer. The reason I haven't put it on yet is one I put for the heat retention to stop it coming from the head to dry out the float balls. I'm not at that level. I need to see if this thing in a minute, when we get it outside, if she performs, and then might even get it round the back for 30 seconds. At this time I'm not talking about anything on this to modify with him. I've taken that off. Obviously we put genuine Honda rings on. I still find with these little peanut engines as well, it's so simple just to put the piston into the bar and then lower it down onto the rod and pin through, because like on Force you've got the scraper rings and the main piston rings with a different edging on them, and these scraper rings you're always fiddling and everything. And if you it made sense while we're down. I was glad for the customer that the ball was nice. The only thing I did was I've just dorned it out, cross-hatched it before we put the new rings on it. It was a bit glazed over, that was it. Then everything else is just straightforward. As I say, I've done that bowl, which you can have that, because if we do keep this one, it's a case of just clicking it and pushing it on. A couple of O-rings I changed, and that's about it. So I think I'll get the oil dropped, I'll get it outside. I ain't putting the tank and seat unit on yet. I mean, there's a bit it was catching somewhere. They're quite heavy stock billets these, so the main thing is if I can get outside, then I might throw an helmet on and just have a quick go and see what this carburettor is. He might go back at this and then he might just make a few little tweaks himself, because we know it's at this end, but it sounded quite clean when I first tweaked it when it came in. It just felt like an air leak, or it was running too weak, too lean. So let's see how we get on in a minute. Right, so give it a quick blast. Again, it's straight away the difference of riding it, with the head on, it's just crazy. And I think what I'm going to do is, I'm happy with the carburation really. I think the next thing, I'm just going to drop the oil out again, put fresh oil in it, put the sump guard on it. It's going to have its tank and seat unit put back on down here, so we don't need to go through that. What I'll do though in the morning is, sometimes when you tweak these carbs a little bit, just start them up from cold again and see where it starts off best at. And then what I'll do is, if I have to just alter the tick over a bit, but it's coming down quite good. And again at this stage, because we're right here now, I'm happy with the electrics. Another thing as well, just if you don't, or you're new into this particular model, where we come back on here, if you just have a quick look here, something I forgot to say earlier, it's essential you scratch it back, especially when they've been powder coated up, and get a good earth from your CDI box. So the earth return, it is important, and if it's got an intermittent spark, just check that first and give it a wire brush off and get it shiny again and put it back on. So there's nothing else I could do, because at this time I put another carburetor, a new carburetor on it. I've ultrasonic this one as well. That one's been ultrasonic, solvent clean. And this is where I'd be. So the customer might have to tweak a little bit, but at least we know all this is right. And if we had to do anything, or he could do anything, it'd be just, an alternative carburetor if it was to play up in the future or not settle down. But straight away then again, it was on the throttle. No hesitation of coming up. And then when I brought it down slow and I run off, it was ticking over and slow around the trees, the sections, and we were revving clean. It didn't have any coughs or anything. So as far as the box goes, the CDI box, it's not like a limiter coming in, especially on 4 strokes. I'm happy with that, so there'll be no point wasting money at this stage. As I say, it's one thing at a time, getting it back together. So this will be coming to the end of this one. This is video 3, by the way, so if you haven't watched 1 or 2, you can catch up on them. And then the next thing is, so is it 21st today? 21st, Tuesday the 21st, Wednesday, hopefully, Wednesday or Thursday, might even be tomorrow night. I've got another machine in. I want you to watch this one and see what you think. And now I do have a bit of history with these machines. And it's a 23, it's done nothing. I'll tell you the story about it because I deal with this customer, and you will pick up on the name. You'll have ridden one, may have ridden one, or someone will be trying to get you to ride one. And this is a 2023 with just about 2 miles on the clock, if that. It's also got the extra seating, another mudguard, and I think it could be road registered. And it's a Tennessee Wong, TW Wong. So what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to bring in somebody who can ride a bike. And if you around this area has been riding for many years, club and all the rest of it, rides modern bikes. You've seen bikes I've done for him. The Beaters, Monoshock, and the Merlin, one of his. And I'm going to let him have a play on it. Now the great thing about this is, and I can tell you this before, because if you're finishing this video, you won't probably, if you don't look at the next one. My wife actually bought me a 2019 one of these, brand new, as a surprise. And the surprise was, it was a birthday, and I'd gone on for so long about looking at them with the swinging arms and the wheels and certain bits on them, and I couldn't believe the price at the time. So I was all over it to see what it would be like for build quality. Hence I got one, and I'm going to tell you what I think then. I'm going to have a go on this in the morning, because remember, 19 to a 23. So a lot happens in any child's bike development. I'm going to tell you a bit on the engines and a few things with them. I'm also going to get the rider in, which is Steve Kirkwood. I've asked him if he'll come in and give an open view. Again, we're not going to have, you know, any jumping around and like a demented ferret on helium. We're going around some old school sections because this bike will appeal to the man, possibly electric start, fuel injection. There's a lot of things on the tin. You know, if he starts doing all that, his false hip will break, his pacemaker will explode, and his teeth will fall out if he starts doing all that jumping about. So originally the Wongs, I think, were meant clubman-ish, born again, have a go, have a play. So I've got plenty on them and plenty to say, so I'm quite excited on this one. And we'll just give you a quick look at it just to start with over there. Look at that swinging arm. Wish I could get some of them from our TLRs. So anyway, look out for this one because it's a good one. We're going to get round back on trial section. And I want him to give me his view because he rode my 2019 when it was brand new. So I want him to come straight in, warm it up, ride it, and as we stop, we won't have done any takes. I want his honest view, and then this bike's for sale. So if you want an extremely cheap bike on a 23, which hasn't got a lump of soil on it, it's only dusty, it might be worth you watching in, because it might just, let's see what we have to say about them. So till the next one, thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or you're trying to like the channels and you wish to subscribe, I appreciate that. Based in Scarborough, North Yorkshire, 01723 370 399. And as usual, if you want to ask any questions on any of these things, if I haven't got the knowledge, I can find out with who we're surrounded with us and maybe help you out at home if you're a long way away, especially this gent, other side of the country. I've had a gentleman in today from several hours away, and I appreciate him coming in as well. So don't miss the Tennessee one, WC200, and that's it on the TLR200 with its new revamped top end on, a bit of polishing, bit of lining, ceramic coating, and the exhaust I'm going to finish off next week, and I'll probably, if the customer hasn't posted this up or whatever, it may be ready for next week, I'll post it out to him. And I've already got a float bowl ceramic coated up, again for the heat dispersant, which is seconds to put on, but as again, we're unknown with this carburetor. But now it's performing well, it's lifting well, and we know that it's had all the bits on the top end, and yeah, good one that. Watch the Tennessee one. You'll be, let's see if it's wrong or right. See you on the next one.